So recently, I started working on a 1940s project on Roblox. This game, it's kind of like I've been working on it for a while now, to be honest. But it's mostly been me getting assets done and small systems and prototypes done. But I think this is gonna be the real deal. It's gonna be the main project that we're gonna try to finish at this point. I'm really into old times. Days back then was much simpler, so that's why I think I picked this game genre to in order to recreate it in Roblox. So today I worked on a rain system. It's pretty neat. I'm gonna show you the steps, what I did with it, and yeah, this I don't expect these videos to be that long, to be honest. I'm gonna try to make them short and simple so you guys can understand the system and how it's gonna work. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. So I found that, and then I easily implemented that code from the rest of the code that I have, which first of all, I set a position, basically 30 studs on top of the player. Um, so 30 studs on top of the player, and then I set up a vector 3 value, which is basically the range of the rain. So out of that range, then we get a random position, uh, or as you can see here, a random C frame with this function right here. This function basically returns the random position that we're gonna set our rain to spawn on top of the player. So what I did next was, so let's get something out of the way before we start. This is only the foundation of a weather system that I'm gonna implement into the game. This is just rain. I plan to have a lot of weather events in game, such as rain, some natural disasters if possible, if I can pull it off. But right now this is only the foundation. This is only purely visual. The rain effects, it's all made from scratch. So things such as decline effects. Decline is basically what the player sees. So this is purely based on what the player is gonna see whenever the rain quote unquote starts. So first what I did was I try to find a way to get a random position near the player so I can basically spawn rain droplets on top of the player. I'm not using particles for this. I decided to make my own system. So first, I kind of started with I thought spawning a part on top of the player would be a good idea, but I immediately realized this is not going to be efficient. This is going to mess up the player in so many ways, such as hitboxes, ragdolls, and everything. So I quickly scrapped that idea. Then I moved on into some dev forums because I was lost. I didn't know what to do, but I came across some code where you can basically pick out a random position according to a radius I give it. So let's say you have a part, you want to pick up a random position out of the part, then this code, it's how you do it. So I found that, and then I easily implemented that code from the rest of the code that I have, which first of all, I set a position, basically 30 studs on top of the player. Um, so 30 studs on top of the player, and then I set up a vector 3 value, which is basically the range of the rain. So out of that range, then we get a random position, or as you can see here, a random C frame with this function right here. This function basically returns the random position that we're gonna set our rain to spawn on top of the player. So what I did next was, so after I was done with the technical aspect of most of the code, um, I moved on to more of the visual things, such as creating the droplets. So with the droplets, they were created by placing one attachment on top of the given position, the random position that we got with the last function. That attachment is placed on top, and then what I do from there, I actually raycast down from that attachment. I raycast down to the floor to see if there's any obstacles in the way. If there's any obstacles in the way, then we create a second attachment and place that attachment where the obstacle is at, or wherever the ray hit the obstacle, you know? So that's how we get our impact effect with the rain. So after that, once we get those two things that were required, I clone the drop effect and splash effect, and all I do is I set those things up, basically set the parent of the new drop effect and the splash effect. After that, all I do is set up insert my items into a table so I can use it later. So I can keep track of all the items that I'm placing, you know? And lastly, I have a loop right here that is called the remove loop. This loop basically just keeps track of all of the items that we have added to the table that I showed you. Um, this loop, all it does is basically removes each rain droplet if it's been there for more than 2 seconds. So, you know, it doesn't affect any performance from the player because, you know, we spawn a lot of rain droplets. That's not going to be good for the performance at all. So, after that, do we destroy the attachments if they have been spawned for more than 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds, 2.5? Then we destroy them and remove the items from the table, and that's it. This visual stuff actually was easier than what I expected. It's only 120 lines of code. It's not a lot. It's pretty simple. Even you guys can pull it off by just looking at this code that I showed you. It's pretty basic. I really didn't struggle a lot. It was mostly with the math stuff because, you know, it's math. But that's about it. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm gonna probably post another short video talking about the systems that I'm making for this game. This wasn't anything crazy, you know, it's just rain, but I just decided to post it because it looks good.